haven't you seen a change in the kind of movie making that is happening? The rise of streaming services, longer form storytelling, where characters are developed a little more.
Sure.
How is that? How have you seen that change?
There is a change, Kaveri. There's no question about it. There is a change. Um, I think that the texture and what the word that is bandied around is content-driven films.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, again, the films sometimes are, yes, the content-driven films are great. It's just that sometimes just because a film is not a potboiler entertainer
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean that the content has driven home the point.
Right.
And I think it cannot pose as a content-driven film unless and until it grabs the attention of the viewer and becomes a memorable piece of work. It should become a memorable piece of work that you could talk about for the next 20 years. So there is, misunderstand me, it is art at the end of the day, but there is, you can make a building, it's science. You can make a beautiful looking building. You can make a beautiful table with inlay. But first you got to make a table that doesn't rock,
Right.
that is steady,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. When you put the inlay, so the intention. Some of our films are wonderful. I mean, one of my favorite films in the last few years has been Piku. I'm so thrilled with the way Piku was made and why it succeeded, and how well it was performed and how well it was directed, and mostly how beautifully it was written. So that is something one has to aim for. Even in your entertainer, I have been in every single entertainer that ever was and probably ever will be. But even in the entertainer, there has to be a story structure. You cannot take half an hour to just let's get started.
Yeah.
Let's do grand entries and another grand entry over another grand entry, another grand entry, and then you say, no, where are we going? Where's the engine? Let's get out of Bombay Central Station. We got to get to Delhi, right? You know what I'm saying? So I feel even in the entertainment potboiler world, we can do better when it comes to structure.
So how is it working with the students, with the directors, with what's it feel like? Is it refreshing, energizing?
Kaveri, I can't tell you. I hate to say it myself, but it has been great learning, because teaching is also about learning.
Right.
Teaching reinforces. So number one. Number two, it's become extremely emotional, because a lot of people are finding there's depression. It's all around us.
Yeah.
There's a loss of hope, wondering whatever we're working on, when will it get made? When will it be screened? Let alone when it get made. Stuff that's getting made, we don't know when it's going to get screened. Movies that were ready for release, we don't know. When is the release of the next big thing? We don't know. So these are uncertain times, and I think that what Spiral Bound has done is made everyone feels a little more anchored. Everyone doesn't feel so unmoored, and people start in the morning when we collect like this on the screen. Before we start, everybody comes in 20 minutes to half an hour early. We've got 70. Yeah, we've got 70 regular students over there. And that's a huge class to have on a daily basis. It's not just a one-off. It's not a social media event, just by the way, where you say, I got 30,000 people over there. That's not what it is. They are students who check in every morning. And for them, and for me too, it's been an extremely emotionally anchoring experience. People share their little problem. People share their little past. They will talk about their hope. So a little bit in the beginning, a little bit in the end, the sign off. But in between, there's great learning. There's great learning, and I'm extremely, it's not very often that I say, in this movie I did well, or this movie, I never talk about my work. But I am extremely proud of what's happening on Spiral Bound. Extremely proud on an emotional level and on a progressive level.
your work has also given so much succor and so much happiness to so many people. I mean, whether it's Asthana, or whether it's the really nasty real estate shark in Khosla Ka Ghosla, one of my
It's so
favorite.
strange what you just said. He's given so much pleasure being a nasty real estate guy. That's an oxymoron if I ever heard one.
But wasn't he wonderful? There was something so electric about him, you know. So you've always played these characters which are somewhat nasty, but are also very exciting, you know. I mean, Asana was also not a straight guy, and of course,
He was
yeah,
a loose player.
completely. So, what is it about you? Is
I'll tell you what it is. I understood one thing that, you know, that there's a, you know, you've got to make a character that people want to say, I know that guy.
yeah, right,
But sometimes the character, he should be the everyman in many ways. Everybody's teacher, everybody's principal, everybody's doctor, maybe, you know. I know that guy. But then sometimes the guy that you know may not be that interesting. He could be very boring. So you walk on a tightrope, and you have to, the tightrope is to make sure that you know that guy, right? But then you make him slightly on the wrong side of I know that guy to make him interesting. And the moment he becomes a little too bizarre, you bring him back to I know that guy. So you believe him. It's believable. Believability is there. It's acting is lying. And how convincing is that lie is the question.
right.
You know, so I think that I try to identify. Everybody says Vinu Sastabule is like my principal. I said, really? Your principal walk like that, talk like that, have that stupid hairstyle? Say no, but something about him. So it is about identifying someone from many, and then making him specific. And that's a funny fun thing to do.
Please like our social media handles and subscribe to our channel by clicking on the bell icon.